soaring high, man. 6-0. Have you been keeping tabs?
Oh yeah, keeping up with the boys. I mean, they're a little banged up right now, but that's when you're 6-0, you're playing at such a high level early. It's gonna happen.
Hey, Coach Chung is on the show.
What's going on?
Yo, Chung, what's up, baby? My guy Tone interrupted my pick'ems. That's okay. I did him on yesterday's show. You can go get him. Hey, did the alarm not go off for you either today?
Hey, you know what? It's one of those days. It's just
I jest. No, we appreciate the time. It's been way too long. Figured it'd be a good week to check in with you on the Eagles bye week. They're soaring high, man. 6-0. Have you been keeping tabs?
Oh yeah, keeping up with the boys. I mean, they're a little banged up right now, but that's when you're 6-0, you're playing at such a high level early. It's gonna happen. So it's the timing couldn't be more perfect for them. Get a little rest, recuperate, mend up, get their head straight again, because you got to figure they still got 11 games left in this season. That's a long time, so they got to start ramping up again. But I tell you what, they are hitting on all cylinders right now, which is crazy.
Yeah. No, I wasn't a big fan of the week 7 bye week, but the way things are going with Mailata banged up, Kelsey's nursing the ankle, there's a lot of question marks. Lane Johnson, 3rd concussion in 5 years, Coach. Let me ask you about that. I mean, he's a little bit of an older player. He's been through a lot of, situations off the field. To me, this is the biggest storyline of the bye week. It might not be in the media, but for me personally, I'm concerned about Lane Johnson.
Yeah, and I am too. The concussion and TBIs and head injury, that's nothing to take lightly. People told me, oh well, it's 3 and 5 years. It's like, oh, you know what? Let me get a baseball bat, and every year and a half, let me hit you in the head. See how that feels, and tell me if you're the same. So it is concerning. It's troubling. I know the league they're taking even further steps to protect the players, but it's tough, especially Lane's getting older, and it's just that the compounding damage that he's doing. It's not if there's damage, there is damage. When you're in that position where you're fighting a 70, 80 round fight every play, it seems like you're getting that collision and that impact. It takes a toll, so it is concerning to me.
Yeah, and if he can't go against the Steelers, I mean, Jack Driscoll has played lights out. I mean, I don't think anybody expected him to play this well. I think the Eagles would feel fairly confident with him in there. Now, Micah Parsons got the best of him on occasion, but he gets the best of everybody, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And and Driscoll's a year older too. And then one thing I have noticed about the Eagles offensive line is that they have depth. That they have quality depth coming off the bench. So they have a stacked bullpen right now. They're developing their backups. So they're ready to go. It's plug and play. That probably wasn't happening in years past, but I think they've addressed that issue. And their backups now, they're quality guys. There's very little to any drop off when the guys are coming off the bench.
Yeah, and it's interesting, Coach, because they activated Andre Dillard last week. They didn't have to call on him, but he is off of the PUP. Mm-hmm. And there seems to be a sentiment he can only play on the left side, which is so bizarre to me because it's the harder tackle position to play of the two.
Right.
But from my understanding, I can't tell you that I've covered the Eagles in depth like I have in previous years as much as I have this year. I can just tell you what I've seen this year, and I haven't really put Dillard under the microscope, but are you under the same sentiment? Does he excel more on the left side as opposed to the right side? Because it's very rare that you hear that about an offensive tackle.
Yeah, it is, but it's probably because he's more comfortable that way. Over there on the left side, it's all part of that muscle memory and what he's trained throughout. Throughout probably his whole college career and his few years here in the NFL, he's trained nothing but the left side. So, and people that don't understand or have never played, offensive line, when you're training a certain way, you're training your muscles to bend and project at a certain angle, then all of a sudden you have to completely reverse it. There's a learning curve to that. So him coming off the bench cold and then asking him to do a completely different movement, that's a tough thing. So you always want to put your players in the best position possible, and I guess they feel that him on the left side, he'll have more success there. He's probably more of a natural left tackle, believe it or not, which is as a coach and as a player, it really doesn't make you have to play both sides in this league, in multiple positions. But to be handcuffed to one position really it dampers and it stymies your growth as a player.
Yeah, no, you say it all the time. Just watching you coach at the Hub Football. We'll get into that in a second. NFLPA Collegiate Bowl, and of course, your time with the world champion Philadelphia Eagles. We got a question from the chat room coming in. Good friend Adams Exploits wants to say, "Hey, what can you tell us about your time with Coach Stout? He's gotten nothing but kudos for his work with this offensive line unit."
Yeah, Stout, he's got great attention to detail. He came from that Saban tree where that's demanded of you. So the attention to detail is there, and he understands the limitations of a player. So he'll put the players in their best position possible, and he does it in a language that everyone can understand. It. Everybody learns differently. Every player learns differently. Sometimes these players get into these offenses that it doesn't really gel with them or mesh with them, but he's found out the way, or he knows the way, and has learned the way of how to coach each person just a little bit differently to where they understand it. So that's where the success comes in when your players buy into it and they trust you and they know that you have their back. These players will do anything for you.
Yeah, and his latest protege, he hasn't really seen a lot of on-field snaps because they haven't needed him a lot. But if Kelsey's ankle doesn't hold up or he needs a blow or a breather, this Cam Jurgens, man, he is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about the depth on the offensive line. I don't know how much you've seen of him coming out of Nebraska. This kid can get down the line and pull and get into the second level. He's like Jason Kelsey 2.0. I hate to put that kind of onus and pressure on him, but man, he's pretty damn good too.
That is a big look. Whenever you can get an offensive lineman, that one is smart, and two, if he's athletic and can pull and can move, you got something special there. Now it's your job to hone that in and sharpen that iron. So to have a guy like that can move, run up and down the line, and he could probably play the guard also. So you get a guy like that, and he's in your bullpen waiting to come out. When you finally unleash that beast, it's going to be something special.
I failed to mention your protege, Jordan Mailata here. He's got the sling on the arm. We saw him miss a game. He's probably going to have to wear that for the rest of the season. Somewhat restricted, but not restricted as to the point where he can't play.
Right.
Do you see that as a big factor, small factor, medium-sized factor?
No, I don't see it at all. It's just something he's going to have to work through. Like I said in the beginning, the first day of training camp, I'd always tell the guys, I'd pull them aside, say, look, this is the best you're going to feel for the rest of the season. This moment right here before we start hitting, as they were stretching. So he knows that you're going to have the wear and tear. He just has to take care of it and be smart with it because it is a 17-game season now. So to miss one game, yeah, okay, but it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So it's something that he's going to have to deal with. I don't think it's going to be such a factor where it's going to diminish his play by 50%. He might get sore, might be a little bit weaker, but he's just a massive human being, so him at 80% is probably better than 3/4 of the league. So I have no.
By the way, did you see what he did during his week off with the Christmas album? Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I got a few text messages from that. So yeah, I might be the first one to buy it. I don't know if I will buy it.
Hey, Connor Barwin's the executive producer now.
So now you just look at you painted the whole picture. Like, oh my God, these guys. It's like, come on. But it's good entertainment.
No, I think it's the best thing since the Super Bowl Shuffle. Are you kidding me? Come on. We could just play this now as we just march into January, into the playoffs, right? Tone tells me you're tight on time, so I do want to get to the Hub Football because we've got a new date, November 12th out there. By the way, are you guys doing okay? I know Naples got hit hard.
Yeah, we got hit pretty hard. We're picking up the pieces. It's amazing seeing the resiliency of a community coming together after a disaster like that. You see the best in people, you see the worst in people, but for 95% of it, you see the best in people just coming together, lending a helping hand. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. It really puts things into perspective. But yeah, we're good. We're picking up the pieces. We're helping people out where we can and accepting help. So it's amazing seeing this community come together. But yeah, we do have another. I mean, and our Hub Football got canceled, unfortunately, because of the hurricane. We can't
rescheduled,
yeah. And located. But we got that coming up. That's an exciting time. I have a lot of players calling me about it, asking me, what it actually is, and they're excited about it. We got some portal guys coming in, and we have some pro guys, and the coaching staff that we have. I mean, John DeFilippo as our as our quarterback coach. I'm doing the O-line and tight end. So the list just goes on and on. And for these guys to get some exposure, get some film out there, to get, and with the 3 leagues now, the USFL, XFL, NFL, and the Canadian League. There's so much opportunity for these guys out there that I wish this was here 10 years ago because I remember cutting a lot of good players that were right there on the cusp. And if they just had a platform like this just to get their information and their film out there, it could have meant a completely different life for them. But so with this, being done, and we got this coming up in November, it's a great opportunity for them.
Yeah, November 12th, to go to hubfootball.com. If you're a street free agent, a player in the Hub transfer portal, you can get hands-on, get new film. Coach Norm Chow as well will be out there, and he's coaching now, I heard, in the European League of Football. There's opportunities overseas.
Yeah.
I saw Hub Football had the announcement with their partnership with the USFL, and Hub Football had 85 players, alumni chosen in the USFL draft last year, and you guys are going to be working hand in hand this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's amazing. the opportunity and just the exposure that these guys can get. Well, they're not going to get. Look, if you're sitting at home, you're not going to get any exposure. You come out to this, there's going to be scouts. You get the USFL as a hand-in-hand partner with this. And that springboards the guys back into the league and to better things, too. So come out, sign up, and just get it done. Just get some work done.
Yeah, get fresh film, but more importantly, you get feedback, hands-on coaching, guys like Eugene Chung, man, one of the best in the business. I'm not just saying it here because you're sitting here with me, man. I enjoy watching you because I learn every time. In fact, we got a question coming. What's the play on the whiteboard behind you? What are you running back there?
I got the bad side. That's like.
Is that the Eagles draft board?
I'm always drawing up things on the board here, so it's just always ideas, always kind of because you had to have a growth mindset, man. You're only as good as your last play, and you got to make a better play, So I'm building a better mousetrap. Believe me, it's.
All right. By the way, I wore my Rutgers football shirt just for you today.
We need to re-up that too. We need to get that going again.
Well, I know we're waiting for Coach John DeFilippo to pop on, and I know you got to get going. I was hoping to try to cross you over because I really wanted to find out when we're going to have this kind of get-together at the Ocean Casino Resorts, our good sponsor in Atlantic City. They got the gallery. It's home to the Eagles pre- and post-game, produced by JAKIB Sports. Like, we got to coordinate here and get a little party going on. What's up?
I'm missing the peppers and come on, the cheese. I need it. I'm down in Florida. Don't get me wrong. I love Florida. Great place, great weather, and all this. But the food, I need the food up there.
They got a beautiful Italian restaurant, by the way, at the Ocean Casino.
It needs to be done. Then it needs to be done.
All right, we're gonna have to coordinate with Coach. I know you got a boogie. We'll see if we can coordinate that. Do you have any? Do you get back up north in the Philadelphia area at all?
Yeah, I do. Some of my friends that went up there, they went on college visits. They went to UPenn and stuff like that. So I rolled up there with them, show them all the spots. And they absolutely love it. So yeah, I do get up there. Once in a while, but we need to coordinate a trip here.
All right, I'll get a hold of you off the air. We'll try to coordinate. I know Coach Flip wants to come up too. We'll just go right over to the Ocean Casino. We'll visit the Dolce. We'll hang out. We'll watch the pre and post game. We'll do it all. We'll chop it up. We'll go to some buffets. We'll make them lose money.
Good. Sounds good.
All right, Coach. Hey, man, I appreciate you. Hey, I'm glad you guys are doing good down there in Florida. Great to hear that. Appreciate it. Best of luck out there at the Hub Football Camp and helping these players get to the next level. We appreciate everything you do.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.